us who work here and those of us who volunteer here every day when we come in. We take a moment to enjoy all of the hard work that goes into that garden. So I'm really happy to introduce Clare Irwin, who is in charge of making all that happen. And she's brought some pictures and is going to talk to us a little bit about Pollinator Gardens. So welcome, Clare.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dan. Hello, everybody. I am really pleased that we had this opportunity to celebrate the anniversary of the gardens as part of this event tonight because of Volunteer Open House, because all of the work that has been done in the gardens over the years, virtually all of it has been done by volunteers. So this is a really appropriate occasion as a gathering of volunteers to celebrate what we have achieved. I'm also pleased that we got several of our volunteers here. Now, those of you that have a regular session here on Tuesdays or Thursday mornings will know some of us already, but I would like to introduce them and just give us a chance to thank them all individually personally for their help here. So I'll begin with Lord Widmer, who is also a member of the board of Pollination Guelph, as am I.
Maybe you could stand as she calls you.
Sure.
Yes. Sorry, we're going to get you a microphone.
Yes, okay.
Where's Catherine? Where's Catherine?
She had the microphone.
Catherine has apparently made off with her microphone.
Is it on?
Can unlock the doors now. Yeah. First the salad, now the microphone.
Yes, so I began with Lord Widmer, who is a member of the board and has been a long-standing volunteer on this particular project. Also here tonight is Victoria McPhail, who is co-chair of the board with me. She doesn't have much opportunity to work in the gardens here, but does a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. So beside Lorna is his wife Indira, who's also been a volunteer with us now for several years. And beside her, Catherine Goddard, who joined us recently last year as to work in gardens. Beside her is I knew this would happen. You'd go around, people saying to me, forget their name. Heather Beecroft. Heather is a volunteer who joined us this year. Beside her, who is a member of the board of Pollination Guelph, and occasionally has the opportunity to come and work in the gardens here. And on the right-hand side is Marion Oakley, who I'm sure you all know. This is a volunteer. Marion has been a volunteer from the get-go here, and is also a coordinator of the volunteers with myself. So an invaluable member of the team. And beside her is Marianne Riley, who you all know. I think that is everybody. Yes, so if I may ask, if you just give our volunteers here. So the gardens are a collaborative project between Hospice Wellington and Pollination Guelph. And we are, as an organisation, Pollination Guelph, are grateful that in 2011, the then executive director and the board agreed to a joint project with us in which we would create pollinator habitat around the building over a series of years. To do that, we would have to raise the money through donations and fundraising and grants, etc., which required quite a lot of work over the years and meant that we were doing it in stages. But we did do it together, and we went from this in 2011 to this.
Oh, wow.
So I think we felt a big improvement, we feel.
Did
Just a little bit about Pollination Guelph.
Claire, they've asked if you would go back so they can see it again and do the awe again.
So a lot of grass, and including it had been a hot summer too, so you can see in the middle bottom photograph very dried out grass, and that's how much of it was on the site at that time. And then prepare your art. I was going to tell you just a little about Pollination Guelph. We are a registered charity that was founded in 2009 with a mandate to conserve habitat for bees, butterflies, moths and other threatened pollinating insects. So the gardens at Hospice Wellington, they're just one of several projects that we have around the city, but are unique in the sense that they were intended to demonstrate to people how you can use native plants to create landscaping around domestic yards and in institutional and commercial properties. So that is quite, and by so doing it will look appropriate for the site, but also provide much needed habitat for these threatened insects. So as I mentioned earlier, we did the project over time. So this just shows what things looked like in 2012, which was the start of the first part of the build, and first part of the planting, I'm sorry, and by the spring and fall of 2013, we'd raised a bit more money and got another grant of a few $1,000s and took out some more of the sod and started to plant again. And 2014 was, I couldn't find a photograph then, but we were generally sort of consolidating what we had done. Then in 2015, we're very fortunate that the Gosling Foundation decided that they would give us their support, and they gave a donation of a substantial amount of money, which meant that we were able to complete the gardens in the sense of taking the turf up on the Scottsdale side of the building, which up to that point we had not had the funds to be able to do. So these are shots that were taken during that time of removing the sod there and planting there. And then in October 2016, we had the privilege of having Susan and Philip Gosling, the two people in the middle there, who coming to the site here, and we unveiled the signage indicating the Gosling Pollinator Gardens sign, and also the interpretive signage that we have around the grounds that you may have seen. So what next? Yeah, so I thought it would be nice just to look at some of the pretty pictures that you see the garden, and this by season. So in spring and early summer, looks like this. This is a spice bush shrub, which those of you who, many of these things are down by on the Scottsdale side of the building, the shrubs, because that's the shadier part of the building as well, of the grounds as well. Then mid to late summer. So we have a very wide variety of plants here, and the rationale behind choosing the plants to support pollinating insects is to have something here that is in bloom throughout the whole of the gardening season, that has good supplies of pollen and nectar to support bees and other pollinating insects, and provides also the leaves that are needed by the larvae, the caterpillars, butterflies and moths, to complete their life cycle. In fact, the goal as a whole is really to enable as many of the insects as possible to be able to complete their life cycle on the site. So they have everything that they would need, not only food, but also places that are suitable for nesting or reproducing, and also to stuff to help them overwinter as well. So here you see in the fall we've changed the colour, less pink and more yellow. This is a witch hazel bush that we have two of them right on the corner of the building, corner of Scottsdale and Courtright, and pretty pleased a couple of years ago they started to bloom, which was great. So we'll be looking for those come November this year. And then, although as I say, we are planting mostly native plants, and mostly plants that will come back again next year, perennial in some nature or another, we do also use annuals. And this has been, they are very helpful to us in terms of maintaining colour when, as you will understand, the perennial plants are no longer in bloom. So as gaps in plantings occur because the bloom time is finished, we substitute perennial animals in pots and things. The gardens are also a valuable resource in other ways than in providing strictly pollinator habitat. They become an educational tool. We have students from the universities and come here for instructional reasons. We've had, and the general public too, when we have an open house here, as we're hoping to do in a couple of weeks, that for the general public, again, it's an educational tool for them as to be able to see what pollinator habitat can look like and learn about pollinating insects. The gardens are becoming a major source of seed, which we collect, and then we can either use it ourselves or we give it away to other people. For example, the city of Guelph is now growing quite a lot of native plants in their own greenhouses and using them to start planting in the parks and things around the city. Similarly, we get plants out of the garden, divisions of the plants that we use for a plant sale to raise money for our work, and we also give them away, donate them to other organizations who are trying to create some pollinator habitat. The little picture of a bird here, is eating the seeds, heads, and of course that's another important resource that these are, is as a food source to birds and other small animals, both from the seeds and also from the berries and fruits that we get on the shrubs that we grow. We've had pollinator surveys, or being done by a member of our board on a regular basis to see what it is that's making use of the site and living here. And over time, that gives us a picture of just which creatures are being attracted to the site and are supported here. And then we've got a few accolades. So Hospice Wellington has got on the radar screen at the Ontario Nature, which gave us an award for the gardens, and similarly the North American Native Plant Society has done the same thing. So they're valuable in many ways. But the key thing about this, and the key thing I want to stress tonight, is the role of the volunteers. As I mean, without the volunteers working here, none of this would have happened. And we've been very fortunate that we've had a core group of volunteers that have been with us for many years. Some of those I mentioned to you this evening, and others that are come for shorter periods of time as life changes and interest change. We're with us for a few years and then move on to other things. So there's always some turnover in there amongst the volunteers, and so it's really important that we attract new volunteers on a regular basis. And we are hoping that some of you today have an opportunity to hear what we had to say about the gardens and to spend some time in them and see the information and stuff we had outside. Will be to maybe come and join us and become a gardening volunteer. No special expertise is required. You can no gardening experience or anything. We'll teach you everything you need to know, it's a great way to kind of learn more about gardening in general, but also if you have a particular interest in learning about native plants and things. Again, an excellent environment, friendly people. You have a great time with the garden together. A nice way to get outside and get some fresh air, etc. And sharing time with a congenial group of people. So I hope that you will think about that. And if yes, I probably shouldn't have shown this photograph. It looks as though I'm suffering from backache. I think it was bumped or something. I lean over it, I don't know. But you can see volunteers enjoying themselves and all sorts of things. But if you think you would be interested in doing something in the garden with us, do get in touch, and you can contact me directly by phone if you would like to, or contact either myself or Marion as coordinators here via the email address here. And if you have no way of making a note of it or would like to get more information, I think Dale has the contact information for me as well.
I promise to pass it along. You can be a pollinator volunteer and a hospice volunteer.
Witness Marion and Marianne. So we are looking forward to spending time in the gardens with some of you who've yet to share time with. So thank you very much.
Okay.